Hi, Judy from Witchpeace Craft. Welcome to my postcard. Very late postcard number 3 of my trip. This one takes in closing, leaving London, going to Prague and Vienna. And the dramas for travelling begin. So we did Brighton. Brighton was a little surprising because the beach was covered in big pebbles. Everyone raves about this beach, and the sand starts near the water's edge. Surprising because all the beaches I've been to in Australia are just covered in sand. It's sand everywhere. It was difficult to walk on, but we did have a great time there. We went back to London for another week with our son. He was working because the school year had started, and during the day when he was working, we went off and did a few things on our own. I'm quite confident on the underground and catching the tube, and one day we decided to go to Covent Garden via a station called Totttenham Court Road because we hadn't looked at that area. It was only 8 minutes walk to Covent Garden from there. When we got off the train at Totttenham Court Road and we came up, across the road were open to the public was this magnificent digital graphic design display. It was free to the public. So basically there was a roof, a wall, an opening to another room that did a smaller version with different ones, and these digital displays were scrolling. The one I liked the most, and I did take some video and photos and hopefully I can put them at the end, was on the roof like a giant body of a jellyfish appears and then his tentacles start to grow and come down the walls. This display was truly amazing. The giraffes that came out of the garden. Look, I was really blown away. We sat there for an hour watching it, taking photos, just enjoying it. And the fact that it was free to the public was a bonus because very few things in London are free. We did go to Covent Garden. It's changed over the years. It used to be marketplace of collectibles, handmade goods. There's a few, but predominantly now it's manufactured goods from China, t-shirts, different things. So no, I didn't buy anything, but we did enjoy the day out, and we've raved about this digital display to everyone. It was just amazing. Last night our son had booked the West End musical that he said he would take us to because I hadn't been to one. He managed to get tickets to Tina, The Life of Tina Turner. It was brilliant. Oh, the best experience. The lead singer must have studied hours of videos on how Tina dances and moves. Her voice was amazing. The cast was amazing. We had a brilliant time. At the beginning, you're encouraged to be quiet, not to sing along, not to take too many flash photos. But for the finale, you're encouraged to stand up, sing, dance, take video photos. The finale leaves you on such a high. Look, if you're ever in the West End of London, take in a musical. And certainly, if you can get in to see Tina, I would. Adrian's friend that came along, he never heard her music, and he'd been listening to her music all week. My son, it said, he has driven me nuts with Tina Turner music. After this show, I won't be listening to her for a year, I hope. But what we didn't tell him about, because he's from Peru, he didn't know about her life, and it's her life story, and he was really quite shocked and shaken up by the domestic violence they demonstrated very artfully, but it was clear she had a bad marriage with Ike Turner. So yes, look, I would go to another West End musical in a heartbeat. He wanted, my son's friend wants to go and see Mamma Mia. He's really into them. He's been to Moulin Rouge and he wants to see Mamma Mia, but my son said, I am not going to see that. And I said, if I get stuck in London, I will go with you, because our travel dramas were about to begin. On the news, they had shown massive flooding in Central Europe, Czech Republic, Poland, Austria. So we were going Prague, Vienna, Salzburg, and there'd been massive flooding they hadn't had like it in 50 years. And after experiencing flooding last year, I was a little nervous. We were due to fly to Prague the next day, and I didn't really know what was happening. As my son said, if British Airways cancel the flight, then travel insurance covers that and you make alternative arrangements, which we were looking at. But we did fly to Prague. The plane was very late. We didn't get in to 8:30. The dramas of checking in, one of the big things in Central Europe and London is QR codes. You got to scan a QR code. You can't, in a restaurant, some restaurants won't even let you go to the counter and order. Use the QR code on the table or leave. It was check-in by QR code because the reception was closed. Except their QR code wouldn't work. Not even on our local taxi driver's phone. Fortunately, someone was coming out and let us in, and he said there's an emergency number inside on reception. So thing rang that. Through some toing and froing and security questions, they'd left a key in a locked box or a swipe card thing, and we got that and went to our apartment, which was disappointing. It was roomy but very basic. The things about Prague, I wasn't overly impressed. I've been told it was really beautiful the next day. It wasn't. It was very grey, dirty-ish looking. I had done some research because one thing about the apartment is the internet worked really well, and we decided we would do a walking tour the following day, a 3-hour walking tour. So we did decide, because our apartment was 25 minutes walk out of the city centre. We walked into the city centre to find out the meeting point and have a look around. There was a big arcade shopping centre mall. There was a yarn shop there. But I'd made a decision this trip I wasn't going to buy a lot of yarn unless I really loved it or really wanted it. I did go in there. There was nothing that set me on fire. I think I took a photo of the shop window. So there'll be photos at the end of all sorts of things. So I hope you watch the video to the end. The walking tour changed my mind about Prague. There are certain parts of it that are really lovely. The history's lovely. There's lots to see. Apparently our reception was only open till 2, and our male receptionist said everything's fine, you just don't go near the river. It's really high and dangerous, stay away from the river. And our walking tour guide was really surprised because we crossed the bridge of the river. He said it's fast flowing, but it's low and it's not dangerous. I don't know why he told you that. The beauty of this walking tour is we paid like $12 Australian for both of us to book it and go. And at the end of it, if you liked it and enjoyed it, that's what you pay the guide, who's a volunteer. He does have FPOS, which is another surprise, but you pay him what I think it's worth. And he was just absolutely brilliant. We left a great review on their website for him. Really enjoyed it. Changed my mind about Prague. I think a lot of the drama of getting there, will we, won't we, and sort of spoilt my view of Prague. So maybe one day we'll go back. And the train station, because my brilliant idea was we would train from Prague to Vienna to Salzburg, to Munich, and enjoy it. There wasn't much English at the train station. Nothing was in English. My tickets my travel agent had given me were in German. It took a while, but we worked it out. We were in comfort class with reserved seats. There's like first class, comfort class, and standard. We get on, the carriage is full, and someone's in our seats. And I said to Thing, I am not standing up for 4 hours. So he went and got the conductor. He went up to these people and went out. He knew straight away. Apparently the locals will grab your seat. They'll sit in comfort class. They'll pay for standard and try and get away with it. Because Kevin had said to him, they're ours. And he goes, no, mine. Anyway, they were moved back to standard and we were given our seats. And the conductor was lovely. He brought us a bottle of complimentary water each, which we thought was really nice of him. And I did do some crocheting on the train, which I think I took a photo of and posted on Instagram. So off we headed to Vienna. At the train station, which was easy, there were taxis and Ubers waiting, and this Uber guy came up, told us a price. We were pretty tired. We hadn't checked out the prices, and we caught his to our hotel. Now, he was like a tour guide. He told us all the places, catch the hop on, hop off bus do a tour of the different city for 2 hours and work out what you want to see, because we were only there for 3 days. He told it, like, our hotel, so you have this big square area where all the designer shops are and the rich shops like Tiffany's and Dolce & Gabbana and Chanel. And we were round the corner, one hotel from the corner, like 2 minutes walk, and we're in the big square with the cathedral and everything. And it was a brilliant hotel. And he had told us not to go to the square to eat. Everything is expensive. 6 minutes walk from that your hotel. He named a couple of restaurants, the best German restaurant. And yeah, he was really great. So we thought. We had a ball in Vienna. We took his advice. The first stop for the hop-on-off bus was about 15 minutes walk from our hotel. We caught the bus. We did the 2-hour trip. On the trip, we saw this amusement park, the Prada, which had the oldest Ferris wheel in the world. And Thing loves amusement parks. So we'll go back to that tomorrow, because we bought a 2-day ticket. And we were going to do that. That was first on the list. That afternoon when we went back to our hotel, there was a yarn shop about 50 minutes up the square that way. I went for a walk to. It actually was about 25 minutes, and it was getting late, close to her closing time. But I did go in and I did buy yarn. She was absolutely lovely. She must have had about 15 minutes to closing time. She did have another lady in there she was helping and making phone calls for. But I did buy. She had hand-dyed yarn, which was on my list. So I'll show you what I bought. So there were some Yarn Therapy. So first of all, what I saw, and she only had it in 2 colours, orange or hot pink. What colour did I buy? Orange. Dye My Style. This. I bought 2 of these. Now, this is hand-dyed. It says sock superfine yarn, 75%. I think that's meant super merino sock, super wools merino, 25% poly something. So I think that's nylon. And there's 400 meters per skein. And I bought her 2 because she only had 2 orange and about 6 pink. That was all the hand-dyed yarn she had. I did buy, and it's starting to fall apart, so I've got a job on the ball winder for Reeves, because I love Malabrigo. Light of Love 857, Hank of Malabrigo. It's lost its other. It's 4-ply. It's beautiful and soft. This is soft. They're both. This is softer, but this is soft too. They were beautiful and soft. I then saw this, which I really like the colours. Merino colour, super sock, 315 meters, 75% wool, 25%. This, and I bought this. She actually had these on special, I think. Yeah, it was this. And in here, which I won't show you because it's something I'm going to send to someone, are some knickknacks, something I've never seen before. And I bought a set of knitting needles. I wanted to try these, and I bought the size. I've been checking all my knitting needle size and lengths. I do have a small set of, what do you call them, where you attach the needle and the cable, and I don't really like knitting with them. I do like fixed circular needles. She was lovely, because I went up to the counter. She went, oh, that's €100. And I said, yeah, it's okay. I'm fine with that. And she said, if you're into hand-dyed yarn, and she had reasonably good ink, she gave me this little flyer. She said, there's a hand-dyed wool festival this weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday, and we were there for that, but it's in District 10. She said, your reception at your hotel should be able to help you how to get there. Now, this hotel was brilliant. It was just so nice. It was called Vienna Royal or something. It was old, but it'd be done up really nice, and the staff were just absolutely amazing. And we'd asked this one receptionist a lot of questions that had really good English, and I showed her this flyer when we got back, and she said, oh, District 10. And she looked it up on computer, and it was 2 bus changes, or I could catch a taxi from the train station where the hop-on bus would stop and pay for a taxi, which would be quite expensive. So we decided we would do the Prada, the amusement park, and go to the Wool Festival, get back on the bus, get off at the train station and go to the Wool Festival by taxi. So off we go the next day to do the Prada. We were there early, but it still took 2 hours to do the Ferris wheel, to queue up, go on it. And to believe me, I do not like nervous hiccups. A lot of the time I had my eyes closed. There was this German couple that were laughing at me and doing this because they were really surprised at how nervous I was. And you sit at the top a long time. Thing loved it. Photos everywhere. He really enjoyed it. And when came out of it, we thought we'd grab a bite to eat and have a walk around before we left. And when we were eating, he had seen go-karts and dodgem cars, and he's an amusement park kid. And he said, oh, you want to go to the Yarn Festival? I said, no, we're running out of time. Don't worry about it. So he had to go on the go-karts. We had a nice lunch in a little restaurant. You know what the surprise is about Central Europe? Prague, Vienna, and Austria, and Munich, and Salzburg and Munich. Cash. They don't like cards. They have facility for cards some places, but some places have signs, cash only. Restaurants, shops. The wool shop, she took card. Other wool shops, no. There was another wool shop near her that I went in, but the lady was very cold and very offhanded. I went the next day and she had nothing that set me on fire, so we left. She was cash only. It was truly amazing that you'd go to a restaurant with a big sign, cash only, and it was everywhere. So for people who are not used to carrying cash, we had to start carrying cash. But yes, we were at the Prada till we got there at 10. We left at 3. Goodbye Wool Festival. And I thought, he travels around to so many yarn festivals and waits for me in yarn shops. He had to have a day at this amusement park and enjoy himself and do stuff he really likes. And it was fun watching him be a big kid and enjoy it. So that we did enjoy Vienna a lot. It is beautiful and clean. There's lots to see. I would go back again. It can be a little expensive, but we ate in one of the German restaurants the Uber driver recommended on our last night. The food was amazing and he was reasonably priced. He was out of the square and back. And yeah, funny, all male waiters, and all in, I don't know, good spirits, humorous, very funny, cracking jokes. And yeah, we had a ball in that restaurant. We did have a really good time in Vienna. So our next problem was Salzburg. Would the trains be running? They'd stopped. We found out the trains were running and we went to the station and there was some English, except we couldn't see our train listed on the board. So thing went off to information. He got a young guy that spoke English and said, your express train has been cancelled. That line is closed and being repaired. They've got a domestic line open a train goes every hour to Salzburg because it's a 2-hour trip. And he said, you can use your tickets on there, but you can't, there's no reserve seating. And my husband said, is there room for luggage? He said, hopefully. So we decided we'd have to catch that because we were due in Salzburg. So we got on that. We got seats in our carriage that were reserved. We were never asked to move. And getting luggage on, we were lucky. An American lady pointed out somewhere the luggage could go and there was still room. So we were fortunate, but it was mad. It was packed and it was 2 hours of, I couldn't really crochet or settle. I was worried about whether we'd get out of Salzburg at all and go to Munich. Anyway, we made it there to Salzburg, and our apartment in Salzburg, it was, because the train took longer, we were late, and it took us closer to our check-in time. That was brilliant. It was an apartment where 2 days before they'd been texting me, sending me emails, and told me that morning I'd be sent the code to get into the building. and the same code would work on our apartment. And our taxi driver dropped there. It was like 7 minutes walk from the train station. We could have walked it. But the young guy that drove us said he told the head of the guy that controls the taxis at the station, he needed a quick trip because he had to go and pick his daughter up from school. And because it was such a short trip, then gave him a really good tip. But yeah, the apartment was lovely. A bit cramped and small, but lovely and very centrally located. And we did a lot of walking from there. And conveniently, I did some yarn therapy. So the next video, I'll do Salzburg and Munich. I don't want to bore you too much with my yarn travels and our traveling, but I do recommend Vienna. I would go back and see more and enjoy it more. It could be that I was more relaxed once we left Prague, finding how things were going. And yeah, you can get news in English, but you can't get many TV shows or anything. I did laugh at watching Hogan's Heroes in German. I thought that was just amusing. But I did get to see the Formula One, and that was in German and with subtitles, and that was much better commentary than we get here. So yes, we did enjoy it. Traveling to Salzburg made me realize maybe I'm getting too old to travel like this, but I'll talk about that in the next video. Look, I really love the yarn. I love this shop. She was so lovely. She's probably early 30s. She had so much beautiful yarn and so many. If I lived in Vienna, I'd be shopping there all the time. She wasn't that expensive. She was actually out of the square. You walk down the square and up the hill and up to streets. So it didn't make her that expensive. Hand-dyed yarn, you can pay anything. It depends on the quality of the yarn. But yeah, guys, my first very late postcard. Wearing pink today for Pink October. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to ask me any questions in the comments, please do so. Yeah, I think Thing enjoyed Vienna more than Prague, but it could have been the stress of getting to Prague. So until the next postcard on Salzburg and Munich comes out, I might see you in another video. You never know. I'm pre-recording these. The lighting's a bit on and off. We've had a bit of rain now and again. And my thoughts are with everyone in Florida as this we call them cyclones. Their hurricane is going to be bearing down on them. Having lived through a few and the flooding last year, it is really quite nerve-wracking. And yes, things can be replaced, but people can't. So you're all in my prayers. Stay safe, stay well. Until next time, I'll talk to you then. Bye for now.
Okay, that's the last one. Mermaid, you heard that. Guys,